Hello, welcome to the online platform of Coachify. Now, let's start with the discussion of today's newspaper, which is dated 11th of January. So, the very first news is that India is seen as a crucial pillar of stability amid global uncertainties, says Modi. This is the news about the vibrant Gujarat Summit, जो कि अभी आपके गांधीनगर में हो रही है. The vibrant Gujarat Global Summit, which is going from January 10th to 12th, यानी लगभग कल तक और ये समिट चलेगी इन द गांधीनगर. और इसका जो थीम है दैट इज गेट अवे टू द गेटवे टू द फ्यूचर. तो आपने इसकी थीम ध्यान रखनी है, डेट्स और इसका जो सिटी है जहाँ पर ये मीटिंग हो रही है. एंड इट्स द 10th एडिशन. आई थिंक इट्स बीन 2 to 3 times जब ये न्यूज़ आ गई है. So the basics of the news are important. After that, the next news is Ustad Rashid Khan laid to rest with state honors. ये news भी आपके कल आई थी that he died and he belonged to West Bengal और उनको काफ़ी सारे awards भी मिले हुए थे. ठीक है. He is a classical vocalist. So he received many of the awards, including national awards as well as West Bengal का जो state awards होते हैं उनको वो भी मिले थे. So that's it. Yeah. Next news is IISc develops worm vaccine for the COVID-19. Indian Institute of Sciences जो है आपके, it has developed a worm vaccine for the COVID-19 which will be effective against all the strains of COVID. And यहाँ पे जो worm vaccine है उसका मतलब है heat tolerant vaccine. Considering that India belongs to the tropical regions, this heat tolerant vaccine is developed, which will be helpful in the storage and the long shelf life of the vaccine. So the institute that has developed the vaccine and the main cause to develop the worm vaccine and the strain for or the virus for which this vaccine has been developed, that is your SARS-CoV-2. COVID. After that, the next news is minority community staff on the roll will not dilute minority status of AMU. Here AMU stands for Aligarh Muslim University. ये टॉपिक जो वो कल भी न्यूज़ में था. So the theme is कि जो अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी है उसका जो minority status है that has been questioned in the Supreme Court. So, according to Supreme Court, a constitutional bench headed by D.Y. Chandrachud, if some of the office bearer are from another community or belong to a majority community, that does not mean that the university will lose its minority character. Or in this context, last day there was a constitutional article under the Fundamental Rights Part 3, that is Article 13, which gives the rights to the minorities to have their education institutions. However, there is not a mention that all the staff or the administration should belong to the minority community. So the case of the minority status of the Muslim community belongs way back. Our case का नाम है this is this S. Aziz Basha versus Union of India case 1968, and then it was said that it's a central university and it should not be considered as a minority institution. Next news is after a record 1,111 NGOs got FCRA node in 2023, 30 got clearance in January. So the FCRA is Foreign Contribution Regulation Act 2010, and it helps the NGOs to receive the foreign funds. Then NGOs are supposed to be registered under this act to receive the foreign funds. So last year in the 2023, this much NGOs got the registration, whereas at present in the January, only 30 institutions have registered or gained the recognition. However, this is very much needed when the NGOs or the institutions require to have the foreign funds. Okay, next is UK to send advanced naval groups for training with the Indian forces. कल एक न्यूज़ आई थी कि जो इंडिया के डिफेंस मिनिस्टर हैं, he has gone to UK to meet his counterpart ग्रैंड शैप्स इन द लंदन. सो उसी की कंटिन्यूएशन में दो चीज़ें हुई थी. एक आपका MOU साइन हुआ था फॉर द कैडेट एक्सचेंज प्रोग्राम, और दूसरी चीज़ है विच वाज एन लेटर ऑफ एग्रीमेंट letter of agreement on defense collaboration in research and development. This was the first. This was the second agreement which was signed during their visit. So in this context, the UK has agreed to send its littoral response group to Indian Ocean region in this year, and their career strike group will come to India in the year 2025. That means that UK forces will be coming to India for the under your this cadet exchange program. Okay, so the next news is CISF takes charge of security at the new Ayodhya airport. Recently, a new airport at Ayodhya has been inaugurated on the December 30th by the Indian Prime Minister, and the name of the airport is Maharshi Valmiki International Airport. And जो आपकी जो paramilitary force CISF that will be taking charge of the security at the new Ayodhya airport. So name of the airport, location of the new airport, and the paramilitary force that is going to consider the security of the airport are important. Now, the next news is under new deal, each state can fill table U once in 3 years. The table U's are the ones that are showcased in the Republic Day parades, and these correspond to इंडिविजुअल स्टेट, यानी हर स्टेट की अपनी एक टेबल यू होती है, या बोल सकते हो कि अपना एक इवेंट या झांकी टाइप होती है which they showcase during the Republic Day parade. But not all the states can be represented. Around 15 are selected every year for the parade. So to avoid the chaos and irregularity, now under the new agreement, every state and union territory will get an opportunity to participate or to showcase their tablets in the Republic Day parade in every 3 years, so that there can be an equitable distribution. That means for the Republic Day parade tableau show, there has now placed an agreement under which every state and union territory will get an opportunity in every 3 years for the representation. After that, the next news is the laws around remission policy. Okay, before that, there is this small news. Botswana and De Beers deal for the top diamond mine. $1 billion की deal हुई है between Botswana and the global diamond giant De Beers for the investment or digging up the world's largest diamond mine by volume. And coming to the country, Botswana is located here. This is Botswana. And it is located in Africa, and it's a landlocked country. और इसकी डील हुई है डी बीयर्स के साथ for $1 billion for the mining of the diamonds. Okay, so the next big news is the laws around remission policy. This article is related to the Bilkis Bano case, and in that case, the 11 convicts were granted remission by the state government. However, recently the Supreme Court has rejected their remission. So in this context, under Article 72 and 61 of the Constitution, the President and governors are having the powers to grant or change the imprisonment through pardoning, not commutation or remissions, etc. The Article 72 belongs to the President and Article 161 belongs to the governor. Under this, either they can completely pardon or they can change the nature of the imprisonment, they can change the duration of the imprisonment. So there are different criteria about the change in the imprisonment, considering the conditions of the prisoners and the societal impact. So under this case, apart from president and governor, under your CRPC, the state governments also have the power to grant remission under section 432. So under section 432 of the CRPC, they have the power of the remission of the convicts. However, in case of the life imprisonment, the remission is only possible after they have spent a period of 14 years in the jail. Now, in this case, the issue is that the state where the verdict has been given only can grant the remission powers. So in the Bilkis Bano case, the case was transferred to the Maharashtra. So the power to grant remission is with the Maharashtra and not with the Gujarat. So that was the first reason that the Supreme Court rejected the remission. And secondly, under this case, Lakshman Naskar versus Union of India case, there were 5 grounds laid down, and one of the criteria is if the crime is a heinous crime and impact the societal values, then it should not be considered for the remission. And similar, the Bilkis Bano case was a heinous crime that included in the murders and the rapes, so it gravely impacts the society. That is why the Supreme Court cancelled the remission of the uh, convicts of this case. Next is, why did North India fog heavily in the last weeks of 2023? So recently in the North Indian area, we are experiencing fog. So normally it's a geographical phenomena. So the main causes of the fog are there should be low temperature, low wind speed, and high availability of moisture as well as the aerosols. So the pollution helps in availability of aerosols. And now the basic meaning of a fog is a collection of the small droplets of the waters, and when the water is when the evaporated water cools down and condenses, and it causes the lack of visibility. And fog is normally just a thick layer of the cloud. So for the formation of cloud, we need a lot of moisture, and in the case of the fog, it should be available near the surface and low temperature should be there. So normally it's a geographical phenomena, so that comes under the static part of geography. Next is Greece Prime Minister to legalize marriages and adoption by the same-sex couples. So Greece के जो Prime Minister हैं, उन्होंने इसके लिए हामी भरी है, but he has not provided any time frame that till what time the laws will be available for the legalization and adoption by the same-sex couples. The next news is sharing Tobgay to become Bhutan Prime Minister for the second time. Recently, Bangladesh में elections हुए थे, so the ongoing Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina again is going to become the Prime Minister. And similarly, in case of the Bhutan, the ongoing Prime Minister Sharing Tobgay is going to become again the Prime Minister. Okay, next news is Houthis launched their largest attack in the Red Sea. This is an ongoing news. So the Houthis are dominant in Yemen province. So this is a Red Sea, and Houthis are in the Yemen country, and these are backed by Iran. So Iran is supporting Houthi rebels, and they have attacked in the Red Sea, and the rebels are in favor of Palestine against Israel. Now, the next news is ILO warns of rise in the unemployment, decline in the real wages. ILO has released a report named World Employment and Social Outlook Trends 2024 report, and according to this report, the joblessness and the job gap has reduced below the pre-pandemic levels, but still global unemployment will be rising in 2024. Along with this, the real wages have declined in majority of the G20 nations. The G20 nations, which are economically sound countries, are facing a decline in the wages, according to the recent ILO report. Moreover, only 3 nations, that includes China, Russia, and Mexico, have enjoyed positive real wages in 2023. So just the 3 nations had hike in the wages, and most of the G20 nations had a decline in the wages. Plus, there is a decline in the unemployment as compared to the before COVID times. However, in the year 2024, according to the report, there are chances of increasing unemployment. Okay. After that, next news is PepsiCo wins potato patent appeal in Delhi High Court. So it's a case where, so in the year 2021, India's Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Authority revoked the intellectual property rights of the patent of PepsiCo's particular potato variety, and the potato variety is FC5, which they use for the production of the Lays, and the Indian authority was not granting them the patent, and for that And the cause was that, according to the authority, that Indian rules do not allow the patent of seed varieties. So they challenged, the PepsiCo challenged this, and recently they have won the case. And actually they appealed in the Delhi High Court, and recently they have won this in the Delhi High Court. So the name of the potato variety, the company, and the name of the authority are important. Okay, so I think this is the final news, the PepsiCo. Okay, so that's it for the today's newspaper. Thank you.